E.O. Wilson's from Yale, I think he's at. Nobel Prize winner, biologist. He's a world expert in ants. Yeah. Minute creatures swarm around us, objects of potentially endless study and admiration if we're willing to sweep our vision down from the world lying by the horizon to include the world at an arm's length away. A lifetime can be spent in a Magellanic voyage around the trunk of a tree. So every teacher and every parent that says to me, oh, we can't do much about environment because we don't have any space. Well, stick a little stick outside on a ledge and watch what happens over 6 months, because all the bugs and beetles will come underneath it. Get a microscope. You know, there is a lot of different layers of this natural world that we can tap into. It's a bit like looking at the gorilla, or not looking at the gorilla. Brilliant example that we can see this if we start to look, and we can then start to ask the question, what are we doing with this? How do we understand this? How do we relate to it? So it's really, really simple. Sustainability is not a tough call. It's about moving our sort of egocentric mentality that we've inherited and maintained and nurtured very successfully over the last 200 or 300 years, and asking ourselves, is this really a good trajectory for us in the future, or are we intelligent enough now as a species to start to make some new changes that move us from the egocentric to the ecocentric? Just shoving a C in instead of a G, you know? It's not a tough spelling mistake. And it gets us into thinking about modelling and management and systems, Meg Wheatley's stuff on leadership, all those ideas of quantum notions of understanding of connectivity. Those are the things which begin to make sense of it on a wider sphere and connect into the professions. But the basic message is really simple. How can we learn from nature? How can we become naturally smart? How can we begin to become ecologically literate and understand that the planet, which has been trialling and testing and working this stuff out for millennia, is quite capable of guiding us on the next steps of the journey if we're capable of listening to it and if we're intelligent enough to make the leap. That led us to Pop-Up Farm.